Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, want to give all
Shalom.
praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem,
Hawa,
Yahushua,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwedash.
want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, wherever it may be. We the brothers here, GMS, Kansas City. Just doing a little quick, sit down through the spirit. We really didn't have anything in particular to talk about, but we're gonna follow the spirit because we know the spirit is like the wind. And we're gonna get into some of the spirit world, the spirit apparitions and so forth, because we're in a time now that the Lord is really spreading the veil thin between the earth realm and the spiritual realm. And we know that a lot of different beliefs and theologies have their particular opinions about the spirit world, and how when you dead, and how when you alive, your spirit goes to the different world. And then Jehovah Witnesses believe when you die, you just die. There's no returning until Yahweh Shai comes back and raise the dead. But in fact, in Corinthians, when Paul got stoned, if a brother want to get that, he basically told us that there's a life after death when you descend. When you ascend. Because we've been going into this whole hell doctrine lately. And you Christians and you Israelite groups out there too, man, you've been speaking on hell as if in the afterlife, when you die, you go to a place called hell. Which in fact you can say that because hell just means the grave. Shawal, the Hebrew word for the grave or the pit. Your body goes there, your skin and your flesh goes to the grave for decay to give back into the earth. But your spirit essence goes back into the heavenly Father, which is put in the body in the heavens, man. Okay. So our brother got in precepts, man. God grab that in Korean. I think it's Corinthians what is the 14th chapter, I think. 2 Corinthians 14. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. Yep. And
I had
Rock, grab me that in
it's like,
give me that. It's Sirach 9, and matter of fact, I think it's Sirach 9th chapter, and maybe Sirach 9 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. Give me 1 second, bro. No, that's not it.
What you looking for?
I'm looking for in Sirach when it tells you about basically when basically when you die and shit like that, your riches and stuff like that. There's no known. You don't really know. You just go to the spirit world and that's it. I was just reading a minute ago, but I'll find it in a minute. But you brothers can bring that out.
Kind so lucky, bro. You said
you
second
looking for
Corinthians,
the Corinthians, Yara?
14, right?
Con.
This is Second Corinthians chapter 14. Lucky. Oh, Salaki, it's you mean First Corinthians, Doc?
Yeah, basically when Paul got stoned. No, I think it's 1 Corinthians 12. Maybe
Lucky.
1 Corinthians 12 chapter. Fuck you, brother. It's been kind of a long day, man.
yeah, Salaki. All right. No, that's not it.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 12. 2 Corinthians the 12th chapter.
Okay, I was gonna say he didn't have a. Okay, Second
I
Corinthians
just
12.
got it.
Yep, kind of.
Huh.
It is not expedient. Second Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "It is not expedient for me, doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in Hamashiach above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth such an one caught up to the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. The Most High knoweth how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter."
Right
And that
now, what is the third heaven?
this is spiritual world
Yep.
because you got the heavens, the first heavens, which is like the rulership on the earth. You got the second heavens, which is the outer space. But the third heaven is the spirit world. That's where the Most High dwells. That's the what they say. That's the space between spaces. You know,
Yep.
but ultimately you have hierarchy where the Most High, Yahweh, the angels, all them dwell and they take counsel.
Yeah.
That's what Paul's describing.
Exactly. The fourth dimension is what is the spirit world. Because the
Con,
earth is broken up into dimensional the dimensional realms, hemispheres. Like, we right now we're in a third dimensional world. All right. When you die and your spirit ascends, it goes into a different world. It goes into a different universe, so to speak, which is the fourth dimension,
yeah,
which is the third heaven. And that's what Paul was describing, man.
yeah,
He was called up into the spirit
mm-hmm,
world. He was stoned. He was put to death. Technically, he was out of the body. You know.
right. Shalom, Mike.
Come on, brother.
Shalom, Maki, and Yahweh Shab. Yahweh Bashim Yah Shabbat, Makadas Bakatam. How you doing?
Yes,
God, brother.
Yeah, we live already out.
Khan.
Yeah, and
Go
that
ahead.
word I made caught up when I read this a long time ago, but these Christians use that word caught up, and that's what they center their rapture doctrine on.
Yeah.
You looked at that Greek word for caught up, and they don't obviously don't have the understanding, but they'll take words like that and make it seem like you just gonna magically disappear after 7 years of tribulation,
Yeah, they don't get that. They don't understand that breakdown from the time when the daily sacrifice is taken away. They don't understand the concept when it goes into that week period. And they believe when it stated 3.5 years when they made the peace, and then when the temple was built, they believe that that's talking about this time. But that's going back into history. That happened already, man. Okay, from the time that the daily sacrifice was taken away up until this time, but that happened already, and that's not talking about a pre-tribulation rapture. Because if you go into the whole concept of the pre-tribulation rapture, it tells you in the book of Revelation that all the world would enter into the hour of temptation. Okay, it says that should come upon all the world. So that don't exemplify you Christians out there, because for one thing, you're not even under the correct doctrine or curriculum to even receive salvation of Yahweh Shai, and you're not calling on the name.
Yeah, kind of. This is verse 5. It says, "Of such in one will I glory, yet of myself will I not glory, but in mine infirmities. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth. But now forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, but the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure."
Right. Now, the point I wanted to make was the fact that there is a such thing as when you give up the spirit, your spirit goes to a higher realm. Okay. That's why he said that what he saw was unlawful for them to utter. Now, when you go into this scripture here in Ecclesiastes 9:5-7, I want to read it real quick. And this is where the Jehovah Wickedness, they get confused, because it says here, for the living know that they should die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward. For the memory of them is forgotten, because for one thing, the scriptures say when you die, your body goes back into the earth. And we know that when you go to the heavens, you're not partaking in procreation, and you don't have goals and riches when you go to the spirit world, because we're in an angelic form. You don't have sex. You ain't looking up there looking at fucking Pornhub and none of that shit. Okay. And according to the wicked, when it reads about in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that the wicked believe that when they die, that their memory is perished from the earth, but they don't understand the concept of reincarnation, man. And what proves that we have a spirit world that we go to, because there wouldn't be no need for reincarnation if we would just die and our spirit would get put back in the body. No, your spirit goes to the heavens to get judged, man. And you play out the judgment of planet Earth when you come back. And this is what the Christians don't understand, because they believe in eternal damnation, but they don't understand that.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. It said, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it."
Right.
And the dust is referring to your body. Scriptures say, "Why is earth and ashes proud?" This is really nothing. This is just a vehicle to house your spirit, change the darkness, as the scriptures describe. Now, eventually, in the kingdom, we're gonna have supernatural bodies that don't break, don't corrupt, don't get tired, don't get fatigued, whatever. But that's coming in the future. But it says, "And the spirit shall return to the Most High who gave it." That don't say the spirit goes to hell. IUIC. That don't say you go down to the fucking underworld. It said you go back to the Most High. So even Edomites, they go to the spirit world. Now they not may not be in the same area as Jake, but they still go up there.
Right, because the scripture said that the wicked is even at peace when he is at rest, roughly paraphrasing it, because like it's an order on earth, it's an order on the heavens, man. So when we die, Israelites, us in general, we all go before the Father, but we're put in certain categories. Like I believe the elect, and I can't really substantiate that, but we understand that on earth as it's an order. I believe that the righteous souls, like it tells you in Revelation, the fifth chapter, I think it's the fifth or sixth chapter, when it goes into basically that crying out, the soul that was beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai,
Yeah.
asking the Lord to avenge us whatsoever. I believe we go literally before the throne of the Most High and we're crying out. But the rest of Israel, I think they're probably like in a different part of the spirit world. And then Esau, he just like off in his own little domain because I mean, the Lord got spirits put in order. Like you got the righteous counsel on the right hand side, and you got the wicked counsel on the left hand side. You
Yeah.
know, so it's an interesting concept, man.
Yeah, you had that matter in Cain and Abel too. When the Most High confronted Cain, he basically told him, "Abel, your brother's blood crying out from the
Y'all
thing
stop
that you."
going mute. I moving the phone.
Yeah, it says the blood your brother crieth out from me, crieth out with blood. That's the concept that basically Abel was in the spirit world complaining.
Yeah,
Saying nigga just murdered me, man.
yeah, yeah.
But I had a precept, Shalaki, if your brother didn't have
Come,
any.
I want to make a point on there too, and that's spiritual though, because that shows you that even though the spirits have a certain consciousness up there in the spirit world, like honestly speaking, like we don't like when they say your family is watching down on you. That concept is never really hinted on. There's no scripture in the Bible saying that your family is watching down. When you cross over, you in a whole different domain. You in a whole different realm. You ain't worried about what the fuck going on down here, but you do have aspects and recollections on what happened on earth, obviously, because the Lord plays everything out in the spiritual world. So, like when Abel
Yeah,
got put to death by Cain, of course he knew because Abel was of the elect, man. So I believe those elect souls have a certain amount of understanding as to what happened on the planet Earth because they wouldn't be crying out. You don't just
yeah,
die and go into spinning animation like Jehovah Witnesses teach you. That's not biblical, you know.
right,
But
right. It
but
say 1,000 years with the Lord is what it say 1 day, or
one,
1,000 years on earth is 1 day with the Lord. So
yeah,
time really is slow as hell in the spirit world.
yeah. Well, 1,000 day. Well, it says 1,000 years to us is 1 day to the Most High. So it's time in the spirit world is on a different time than here.
Yeah, time,
So up there,
time.
things may move a lot rapidly because the Lord Himself is of time. On the planet Earth, it's a lot slower because shit, according to the scriptures, Yahweh Shah was just here 2-3 days ago, according to the heavens, but on the
Right.
earth matter, it's been thousands of years, you
Yeah.
know.
Right, right. They say after that third day,
You should
when Jake gonna start to raise up again. So
yep.
we wasn't even in the spirit world. We didn't really lose our identity for that long. But for us, it feel like we didn't know we was Israelites forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God.
Feel like you got it.
Con, got a precept as well. After bros, bring that out.
Yeah, go ahead, Uriah. You bring that out, bro.
God. This is Shalaki. 1 Corinthians
15.
15. Yep. You was going there?
Oh no, I just kind of knew where you was going.
Oh, okay. Shalaki, brothers.
The whole chapter is really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 45. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45. It says, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and after that which is spiritual. For the first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord Yahweh from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy, and as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Right, because the scriptures goes into the things that are heavens, understand the things that are heavens. See, when it said he was making a quickening spirit, going into Yahweh Shai, being that sacrifice and being that perfect abode of the spirit, versus Adam, he was made perfect, but he went off, which was subjected to sin. You see, and we're in that concept of being subjected to sin because we went off and following the trend of our forefathers, man. That's why we're going through this process of repurification through the spirit. All right, that's why we getting built up, and this is why Yahweh Bashim Yahushai got to come and give us those new bodies, which is going to go into. But you got it, brother.
Yeah, Khan. And it says, and as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly, and that's basically like the prophecy, because the first, when Adam was first made, he's obviously made out of the dust, but then the scriptures speak about that breath of life being put into him. And that heavenly order, which is in the heavens, got established basically on the earth. All right, when that life was breathed into him, so that shows that there are earthly orders and then there are heavenly orders. And the Lord brought the heavenly order; He gave it to a special group, a special lineage. And Brother Paul is basically saying we're gonna get back to that, man. Because we we went off. You know the story. All the time we went off, we tried to do the right thing, we just couldn't do it. And ultimately we needed the intercessor, which was already written to establish it. And this time, that heavenly order, man, is going to be nothing like we ever seen.
Because it involves supernatural bodies. Adam, first spirit ever created to be in the flesh. Yahweh Shai, first spirit to have a mortal body. First spirit to had a ability to reappear, disappear, manipulate the elements, all of that. So he trailblazed that. That's why I say we also shall have that. That's why we preach the spiritual powers, because if you believe in Yahweh Shai, you believe the same things can happen to you.
Yeah, Khan. As we basically had it in the days of Adam, the Lord took it away from us. And over time we just slowly started dying. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe Moses might have been one of the last Israelites that had a pretty lengthy life. I think he lived to about 120. But you notice, like, after that, all of the patriarchs, they started, dying at earlier ages.
3 and 10, I believe, 70 years.
Get right, yeah. Khan.
Yeah,
And
I think the first
80.
to live the longest was Methuselah. Salaki, go ahead, Salaki.
The longest that lived ever, yeah. I mean, like after after the flood, everybody born before, they were living for hella long. Like Noah, he was like 900. But as you go down the lineage, you get down to Moses, you start to see we start dying a lot, a lot earlier.
Khan. Appreciate y'all.
God. I had a couple precepts. Just going into what the brother was talking about, how we come back in reincarnation. Book of Exodus 34:6. That says, "And Yahweh passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord, God merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and the fourth generation." So right here, the scripture just tells you come back basically every third or fourth generation. Your spirit gets kicked back down into another body. You know, that's why you come out the womb kicking and screaming. You know, you got your sentence in the spiritual world from Yahweh, and you got to live out that sentence. You know, Yahweh is going to tell you exactly what you're going to go through, and he's going to send your ass back down here, and you're physically in hell right now. You know, this is why it's going off to be celebrating your birthday and things like that.
Yeah.
God, well, I got a precept quick, brother. Going back to what you were saying, you made a point, you Rob, about the flesh and the spirit. Well, this is the book of Galatians 5:16. It says here, "This I say, then walk in the spirit, and ye should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things ye would. But if you be led of the spirit, you're not under, under the law," like what you was going into when you was going into the concept of the Adam being made of flesh and then the quickening spirit. And you went into how when we go off is because of the flesh, we were subjected to sin because the spirit and the flesh lusted against each other. You know, the spirit wants you to do certain things, but your flesh may kick in and say, "Fuck it, I'm tired. I don't want to do it," you know, which happens often. Just at that point.
Yeah. Because that first Adam was corrupted by that sin. But the second Adam, Yahushua, in the second incarnation, he was incorruptible.
That's right.
Yeah, he didn't go off. He was perfect.
God.
That's why I told you in the Passover. That's why it tells you that get a lamb that's unblemished. Unblemished represents without sin. And
right.
How that was that perfect sacrifice. You know. So.
Right. That's why you can never get more perfect than Yahushua. All that blood sacrifice and Levitical priesthood, animal sacrifice, that shit is done away with, man.
Yeah, nigga gonna say, "Oh, the Levitical priesthood." Look, man, that's all good and dandy, but that's not a higher sacrifice. The scriptures tell you in Hebrews, man, that there was not a greater sacrifice than what Yahushua did. You can't go above. Yahushua is the Holy of Holies.
Right.
You can't go no higher than that, man. Even during the time of the high priest, you had certain men that had to be of the lineage of Aaron, if I'm not mistaken, and they had to be righteous men that was selected to go to the holies of the holies. It just average priest couldn't go into that, man.
Yeah. You notice in the temple, it was like layers to it. Yeah. In the outer court, you could basically have strangers and heathen in that area, but then you had a little bit of an inner court. You had to be an Israelite. Then there was an inner side of the temple where you had to be a Levite. Then there was further in, you had to be the sons of Aaron. You know,
even the women weren't even let inside. They had a place in the outer court.
Yeah, and even if you were an Israelite, if you had like a blemish or like if you were short in stature or wounded in the stones, you couldn't walk in there either. Yep. Even if you were a Levite, by the time you get to the Holy of Holies, that's basically like the high priest is really the only person that was allowed to go in there.
And that's how you know that in the spirit world it deals with order, because the temple that's set up on earth is ordered after the concept in the heavens, man.
Yeah. That's a beautiful point you made, because we read last week, Yahweh Shai basically said the Son of Man has the power to forgive sins. And that's one of the main reasons we offer up a sacrifice to begin with. Is to have our sins forgiven. So if Yahweh Shai has that power, that shows you the level that he's on.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. It says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." So, and this then said, "Ah, Lord, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child." And I was just going to what you're saying, before you come down on earth, you gotta take a trip before the boss, have a little chit chat. We don't know exactly how it go, but essentially most sides say, you know what, I'm gonna send you here. You gotta go prophesy. I'm gonna send you to this location. You're gonna learn the truth at this certain time. You know what I'm saying? Because he basically give you a pep talk before you get fucking deployed to war, man.
Yeah.
Every day in this flesh is a fucking war.
Yeah,
that's called a debriefing. Yeah, they give you a debriefing.
Yeah, kind.
They be like, this the mission.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all
brothers. You got it.
Y'all brothers ever played which one of you brothers had a Nintendo 64?
I used to have one. I don't got one no more, but yeah.
Now, if y'all ever played GoldenEye, the original first-person shooting, like before you start the game, how they got the James Bond music and they give you the list of briefings and shit. And the Lord, I mean, the money penny or M, they give you the list of objectives you got to complete before they deploy your
Right.
ass to war. That's how it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
Con.
also, the Lord tell you how you gonna get your ass taken up out of here too, man. He tells us
Yeah.
Right.
before we do it. And hey, we're those spirits that offered and say, look, send me. Because remember when the
Right.
Lord
Yeah.
counsels, even on the left-hand side, you had angels that were like, look, send me down, I'll be a spirit, and you got that on the right-hand side. So we basically
Right.
handpicked to come down here and
Right.
deal with our shit, man, because the Lord knew we can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Con.
That's that SEAL Team Six, man. Because
Yeah.
not every angel gets to experience a fleshly body. That's why I say we're a spectacle to men and the angels. They like, damn,
Yeah.
you know. I
Yeah.
mean, we always make that point, but still going into that debriefing. You know,
Yeah.
you get
Con,
called into the room. You got it, Euro.
Yeah, I was gonna say
con,
that
bro.
reminds me a lot of the y'all brother see the series of the Born Identity.
Yeah.
What basically happens is he has no memory when they deploy him.
Mhm. Right.
Now he got all of this training. He's special hand-to-hand combat specialist. He knows all of the things. He's ready, but they basically wipe his memory and throw his ass in there, man. And then
Hmm.
when the time comes, he activates. He
That's what the
remembers all
Lord
the
do.
training. He knows how to kill a man in 3 seconds.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and
Right.
and but he was a special soldier though.
Yep.
He's part of a program called the Cicada program, and they trained all of these men, and they basically wiped it, and they deployed them, man, and they were basically like weapons going all throughout the earth. That's what the
Hmm.
whole thing reminds me of, you know.
Right.
Con, con, bro. And it's the spirit, man, because pretty soon we waiting to be activated. And I got a couple precepts that go into that, we all waiting for. This is
Well,
the
shit,
book
we
of
activated right now. We got the truth. You
con,
know what I'm
bro.
saying? Because
That's
we prophets, but we just ain't got the
It's two
full,
phases,
with
two
the
phases,
body.
right.
you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Con. So
Okay.
that's what I get ready to go into is the body part. But this is the book of
Hmm.
1 Corinthians 15 and 51. It says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep. We shall all be changed." And it says, "In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed."
Hmm.
It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." Okay. So it says in an instant we're gonna be changed. We're gonna get those new bodies, man.
Yeah,
So
Right.
that's what we all waiting for is that physical, spiritual aspect of it. The best way that I can describe it is if anybody was a fan of Dragon Ball Z going up, you see them power up or go in Super Saiyan mode. The Lord's gonna activate us, especially when it's time for us to become those hunters.
Yep.
yeah, Con. I can't wait for that either, boy.
Bro.
These
Yeah.
bodies are trash, man. All of this poison and shit,
Yeah.
fucking deal
Feel
with.
it. You feeling it, man.
But
And
that's the
and,
full unlock.
and shit happens out the blue, man. You get sick out the blue, man. It's just like you like literally ticking down, you're deteriorating, man. And it says at the last trump, because matter of fact, the scriptures say in Thessalonians that the dead in Yahweh Shah should arrive first. So those that died in Yahweh Shah, they're gonna get that that new body. But this is the book of Revelation 11 and 15, because that last trump, the seventh trump, which seven represents completion. It says, and the seven angels sounded, and there was great voices in heavens, saying, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever, man. Okay. And it says, and the 24 elders, which were angels, sat before Yahweh on their seats and fell upon their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, we give thee thanks, our Lord Yahweh Almighty, which are and was and are to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, which that represents the heathens, and thou should get as reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And what's that reward? That new bodies, man.
Yeah,
The new bodies, man. Getting raised from this corruption, because when we're taken up into those ships, we're gonna shed this physical shell, because this corruption can't go into the heavens. It can't go into the presence of the Most High. That's why it says that this mortal should put, or this corruption put on incorruption, and the dead and
Right.
Yahweh shall raise first. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like just like when Elijah was taken up by the chariot into the heavens, he what they call dematerialized, meaning this current body broke down, and the spirit of him went into a different body, because we know that the
Yeah.
spirit without the spirit by itself is just an energy, no conscience, no anything. But when it's put in the body, it's activated, it can function because your
Mm-hmm.
spirit is just
Yeah.
energy. It tells you that in Hebrews, man. Fire, the angels and ministers of fire and so forth. Now the angels, they have body, they have spirits, but we just can't see it because they're in a different dominion. But when we give up the spirit or the ghost, whatever you want to call it, you got a body that's waiting on you in the heavens, man.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate.
So,
Go ahead.
Kyle, I got a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more
yeah. You got it. You
Corinthians.
got it. Y'all stop. Salaki.
Kyle, you good? First Corinthians 15 and 54. It says, "So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality,
Mm-hmm.
then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory."
Mm-hmm.
No, because that's it, man.
Yeah.
That's the end all be all. There's no going back to getting a worldly flesh or nothing like that. Like the Ox said, we're going to get new bodies and be changed, and it's going to be something that's going to happen at the instant, like the snap of a finger. You just have to be patient and wait for that day to come, and it will come if it's written. Everything that's of the scriptures, if it's written, this is a promise that all these things are going to happen. Which one of these
Yeah.
promises or these prophecies have not happened? So why not believe in the spiritual power aspect? Because you got some camps that think
Mm-hmm.
that we just some fairy tale believing Israelites, man. No, this stuff is in scriptures. We're gonna get that power. We believe in it.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And then you're gonna have the physical translation, but you also gonna get that unlocked in your mind, man. You're gonna be able to know all your past lives. You're gonna be able to know who you were in the ancient world. When you met Yahweh Shai, all that, man.
That's
Bro,
right.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most excited about because you know me, I'm a thinker. I be thinking about shit
And you know
I
how
shouldn't be
deep your
thinking
history
about.
go.
That
So
just things our mind can't really comprehend. But
right.
that's a beautiful. That's our birthright is to just to know what is.
Yeah, kind.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing, man. You know,
Yeah. And
because
that's the
we
reason the Most High set it up that way. Because if we had that knowledge in this body, we will fucking bug out, man.
yeah, con.
You would
You know
disintegrate.
what? Something about our spirit is attached. We have an investment to it because we were the ones that created all of this. You know,
Right.
Shit.
Lord willing, Lord willing, we're of that a number of the first fruits. You know, King Solomon, he was very curious. When he got all that money, he started exploring, he looked into everything, man.
You know
Because
what?
it's natural because we naturally created all the earth, the grass, everything, man. Jake is naturally
Yeah.
curious and wants to know what is, but it's just not we not ready. We're not ready for it yet.
That's why the scriptures say, "Seek out things that don't seek out things that's above
Right.
thy
That's
understanding."
too high for
But
thee. Yeah.
but see, my personal thing, brother. I always wanted to see how creation began. I want to see how it all began. Now,
Yeah,
see, Moses, the Most High, was dealing with him on a personal level. Because remember, when the first 5 books of Moses was written, that was a revelation that the Most High gave him. But Moses wasn't on the scene as Moses when the book of Genesis was written. He was there, of course, because the prophets, the scriptures go into the prophets and the cooler, the voice and the cooler today being the prophets. The cooler today represents, we at the beginning, the destruction hadn't happened yet, and it's still early time, and the prophecies were being spoke about. But he got all that revelation when he went up and dwelt with the Most High a little season. So the Lord showed him creation, how everything was created, and that's how he was able to write the book of Genesis. That's
yeah.
crazy, bro,
So
because the
once
Most
he
High
walked
took
on the
him
mountain,
back. Yeah, he took him back and showed him. Because remember when Moses got the chair, when Moses went up and got the commandments and dealt with the Most High, remember Adam and Eve had been dead long ago. But
yeah,
he
Right.
went back and got the breakdown on the beginning of everything, bro. That's
And the
crazy.
end. He
And
saw the
then,
end too.
yeah, yeah. Which
That's
proved
why
that
he
he was
gave
dead.
that's why he gave those blessings to the tribes, because he knew what the end was. Salakia though, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
uh,
Jacob did gave the blessings to the 12 sons, but Moses, he saw the revelation of the end and he saw the beginning. He seen it because the Lord was dealing with him, which proves that he was King David because the Lord gave him he was the first king over Israel, man. Technically speaking.
yeah,
Hmm.
con. He even came down the mountain with that glow, so he got something. He was looking at him like, "What?
Hey, Jake was going off too. Aaron was going off. Shit.
Yeah, even Aaron, bro. That just shows you we needed that order. That's the order Melchizedek was set up before that, but
Yeah.
it just shows that we always needed it, man. We always needed Yahweh Shai. We always needed the intercessor because that's just how the Lord wrote the story, you know. So the guys that are telling you about, you know, Levitical priesthoods and all that shit, they're in the wrong spirit.
Yeah.
You know. That was to get us through when we were a nation in our land, you know, to govern ourselves, but that was never meant to be a permanent, you know, solution.
No, but it was modeled after what was going to be done in the heavens, though, because the scriptures say on earth be on and like will be done on earth. Wait, scriptures go like will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Like kingdom come, like will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that whole earthly tabernacle with the Levitical priesthood was like a foreshadowing of the perfect priesthood that was going to come about, because it's actually the same replica, but it's a more perfection. Because when we deal with the new covenant, actually, because it's been established, but we have to walk into it and we have to be changed. Salvation has to come for us to get the new covenant, but the way has been paved through Yahweh Shai. With some guys, they just want to teach strife and contention, but that new covenant, that new orderly priesthood is already going to be established, but we're going to be more in perfection to walk into it. Because the whole concept about Yahweh Shai coming to die is because we couldn't keep the commandments, man. We were subjected to sin. We couldn't keep it. The Lord showed us like you can't do it without a perfect sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
You know, because the Lord ain't dealing with that half-ass shit. Jake will go commit adultery and then he'll bring up 2 fucking turtle doves and sacrifice and go do the same shit again. The Lord ain't dealing with that, man.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they had to write basically the whole book of Hebrews had to break all of that down to Jake back in the ancient world, because he was thinking, you know, salvation was going to come through keeping, you know, the law and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, keep the law, but don't think you're going to get around the order of Yahweh Shai, man. You know?
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Go ahead, bro.
Just kind of switching lanes a bit, going into that Acts 19, because you know we going into the right hand spirits on how the Most High gonna bless us with the wisdom and spiritual powers and you know new bodies. But we also know that spirits work on the left hand,
Yeah, bro, I got the
especially
whole
nowadays.
breakdown right.
Yeah, especially nowadays with the juice. That is a potion that's in you. That's a witchcraft brewery that you people put in yourself 3 times. You got these drugs out here. A lot of you motherfuckers on opioids. That's a demon. And a lot of these people, especially these women, they they believe in quote unquote spirituality,
Man,
which is putting more demons upon you. So imagine you got the juice 3 times. You take oxys every now and then, and you pray to your ancestors 5 days a week. How many demons is that?
and you want crank? What's that shit called? Crank or something? Crank?
Trank.
Yeah, you on that trait, the trait.
Oh, Trank. Yeah. That.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this Acts 19 verse 11. It said, and the Most High wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. And we know that diseases or sicknesses in the body, it's really nothing but an unclean spirit that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, but it say so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai, saying, we adjure you by Yahweh Shai, whom Paul preacheth. So Jake knew that there was power in Yahweh Shai for dealing with these things, but they weren't on a level. You know what I'm saying? Now the elect men, they're gonna have the ability to do things like that. Certain men, but certain men for a certain time, you gotta wait to the kingdom to get your power to do that. But you know, really in the kingdom, we ain't gonna need to exercise Jake, but it's a hierarchy as we was going into. What says, then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits in the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua whom Paul preaches. And there were 7 sons, one of Sceva, a Jew, a chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye?
Yeah, kind of. And you know that, and that shows you, man. You can't be trifling with this thing, because these are probably guys that saw Paul call on that name, and then with no relationship, no real spirit in them, thought they can just use that name. They would utter that name. A lot of people gonna call on Yahweh Shai and still get put to death, man, because they're not really of Yahweh Shai, and
Bro,
those guys are gonna get put to death. That's what these guys tried to do, you know,
Oh
bro.
and them
yeah,
demons got on their ass, man.
Well, that's these guys in these groups, man. They're not really rooted in this thing. They in this thing for fame and glory. They're not really solidified in this thing, man. You know, that's why, hey, the scriptures say, why call me Lord, Lord, but do not the things I said. On top of that, you like you said, you gonna call in how about you, how shy, and the demon is still fuck your ass up, man, because the spirits don't recognize a lot of you dudes. Like calling on Christ, the spirit don't recognize guys like that, man. Who is our King? Christ.
indeed.
Lord don't recognize guys like that, man.
Right.
Because
Indeed.
for one thing, you were given a name and you were taught how to deal with the name. You got to indulge in that. You can't incorporate your own idioms into something that's already established, man. You know?
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's twofold, man. Just
Yeah.
like you can't get delivered by just believing in Yahweh Shai and keep not trying at all to keep the law, and you can't get delivered by keeping all the law and not believing in Yahweh Shai. You know,
Balance.
it's balance. You can't open the door by just unlocking it. You got to unlock it, and you got to twist the knob and push it in. It's the
Mm.
prerequisite is to be an Israelite. Number two, you got to believe in Yahweh Shai, and you got to keep the law to the best of your ability. You know, and only the elect will be trying that earnestly to do that. You know, you
Right.
can't just go down one lane and think you're gonna get in. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But going back to that. Oh, go
precept,
ahead. Yeah, go ahead, y'all. Sorry, I got a little bit more, but yeah, you got it.
This book of Proverbs 1 and 27 says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
Hmm.
yeah,
Just going on exactly what your brother's saying. You know, you're gonna have Jake trying to call upon that name, say, Yahweh, 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 Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. You know, in the midst
Yep.
of they get judged, but before they said that, they were just in the middle of committing some type of sin or wickedness, just in
right,
the middle of
Hmm.
stuff this morning. Or it was just a couple
Hmm.
of days ago they came against the brothers out there teaching the word. But they deep down they really know. Jake really knows, you know, when with this truth, they get the conviction, they get the word, they know what it is. They just
Right.
rebellious up. But they do take a mental
Right.
note of what the truth name is. They write it down and they think they're gonna put it in their back pocket that they can pull it out and use it later when it's convenient for them. And they're gonna find out the hard way.
Yeah. These fucking demons gonna hop on your ass, especially when you experiencing that distress and anguish. It's gonna make it worse, man. It's
yeah,
one thing to go through the physical frustration, the Jacob's trouble. It's another thing when there's a demon in your ear telling you you're gonna fucking die every 15 minutes.
yeah, yeah,
Demon
yeah,
hop in niggas' ear, be like, man, you should just eat your fucking kid.
That's why the
Hey,
scripture
that's
says,
how real this shit gonna get.
bro,
bro.
yeah, yeah,
That's why it says, give me any plague but the plague of the mind. A plague
Plague
of
of
the
the
mind is
heart.
the worst
Right,
plague you can get, man.
right. Yep,
You feel me?
yep. You be seeing all these fucking Edomites that be killing their families and shit. That's the demons on these
demons,
motherfuckers.
boy.
Like, hey man, you need to blow little Timmy away. You need to kill your wife and kids.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you one thing, man. Satan is not like your Howard Shot. You call on Satan, man, he gonna answer. Like them girls that went fuck with that Ouija board.
A Ouija board.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
Satan
perfect.
Satan
he
answered
come quick.
immediately. He was like,
He
"Oh,
gonna
yeah,
come
what?"
quick. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
you don't
you
need to
hey,
be of the elect on the left hand side. Satan will give you whatever you
Yep,
want to make you go off
that's
immediately.
perfect.
hey,
Perfect example.
hey, cast up a seance on the left hand side. He'll come quick, bro.
Yeah,
Like if you
Yeah,
do a ritual right now, you'll get a knock. Satan come, he'll knock at the door.
yeah.
yep,
Be a whole nigga at the
yep.
door. Like, what's up, bro? Got to
Con.
deal
Yeah,
with
that
quick.
nigga, that nigga
Yeah,
faster than Uber Eats.
yeah, bro.
You,
Like, what's
you
up, bro?
you got to remember, bro. Like we are precious when it comes to like demons. It's kind of like there's a vampire show. called True Blood back in the day. I used to watch, and and the vampires used to like to eat humans, but they had something called fairies in the show, and that was their favorite. If they could get a fairy, it's like they just get ravenous. When Satan sees a man of the Lord doing the right thing, that's how he looks at us, man. He wants
Right.
us more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a barrier of protection around us.
Because
You
he got
know,
niggas in the world. He got them niggas in the
right?
world.
Yeah, they done.
As soon as somebody in the truth go off, man, Satan is right. He's been trying to get to you the whole time. At the
Yeah, like
moment
Yeah.
you let him in, he's right there, and that's why these guys that in these camps, they the worst niggas.
bro,
You know?
like that mushroom head nigga war, man.
Yeah,
Satan got him.
yeah.
Yeah. What
Why
it
the
say
he
when an
was in the
unclean
truth for a
spirit
while.
goeth out of a man? But
Yes.
I'm gonna keep going in this act, bros. This is Acts 19, verse 13 again. It said, then certain of the vagabond Jews exorcists say they exorcists, so they kind of had a reputation of doing that, but they about to run into a high level demon that they really could fuck with, you know. Say then certain of the vagabond Jews exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua whom Paul preacheth. And there were 7 sons, one of Sceva, a Jew, and the chief priest which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye?
Yep.
And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them. So they fled out of the house naked and wounded.
Bruh.
Look, man, it's levels to demonology, man.
Right,
There was this
right.
book written by Solomon called Demonology. Remember, Solomon dealt with the left hand too.
Mm-hmm.
King James, not Salakia, not Solomon, Salakia. King James got a book called Demonology. This is why a lot of people don't prescribe to the King James Bible. But see, if you understand a man as a wisdom, and that's the spirit, because King James, I felt like he had that Solomon spirit in him because he knew the left and the right. And by you being a king, you got to counsel with both sides, man. It's a
Mm-hmm.
balance to being a king, man. Most kings in
Mm-hmm,
Israel went off because they just dealt totally with the left hand side and they didn't take heed to the prophets. You see?
mm-hmm,
But with King James, he had a book called Demonology. Now, it wasn't him dipping in witchcraft, but he was writing about certain seances and shit like that because he understood the left hand side. Like when we fully get in the kingdom, why you think it said that Yahweh Shai swallowed up death and great victory? Because Yahweh
mm-hmm,
Shai knows both sides of the spectrum because it says the demons are even in subjection to him, man.
mm-hmm.
Didn't Paul sit Satan on? He said, let Satan stand. And didn't Paul give Alexander the coppersmith over to Satan because he did him much wrong?
Yeah.
Right,
Did King
right.
David say, let Satan stand at his right, at his left hand, roughly paraphrasing it?
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah.
makes sense that
Yep.
the men of the Lord deal with left hand. That's why it's good to know both sides. But like Apostle Zahar said, and this ain't for you younger brothers, man, because this is a little bit deep. But they ain't saying go out there and do crazy shit. No, man. You just understand how things work. And when you understand how things work, you know what to do and what not to do. We ain't telling you to go buy no fucking Ouija board. No, that shit is off. That's left hand magic. But you need to know enough about the wickedness, so therefore you don't get yourself caught up in that, man. You
Yeah.
know, because
It's,
Right,
Jake get curious,
right.
man. They get to
Especially with
doing
these
shit,
females.
and you get took, and you can't come back, man. It was a
mm-hmm.
movie called The People Under the Stairs, man.
That
Y'all
shit
see that
sound
movie?
crazy. Nah, that shit sound crazy,
Hey,
bro.
what? This shit called The People Under the Stairs, bro. It's an old, I think Wes Craven film came out like in 1990. If you brothers got Hulu, not Hulu, Tubi TV, it's called The People Under the Stairs, bro. That
Yeah.
shit's crazy.
Con. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Not every brother is meant to deal with that. You know,
Yeah.
it's you really just got to be, you know, on that level. You know, I wouldn't try it.
Hell
You know,
no.
like you said, ain't
Nah.
nothing wrong with knowing about it, but it's like you want to stay on the right hand and learning as much as possible. Really, we should just be focused on salvation and getting out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a good point because during that time of King James, it was an epidemic of witchcraft, man.
Yeah.
They were hanging witches, burning. The Salem witch trials was all during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he was learning both. But go
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah. But I wanted to make that point in that Acts 19 that these demons give, these motherfuckers basically a form of spiritual power. He was beating up niggas and to the point where he he fucking stripped them naked, man. And it's another one. It's another one in
Part 5.
Acts 5 real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Mark 5, huh? Mark 5:1, it said they came over into the other side of the sea in the country of the Gardenians. And when he had came out of the ship, he being Yahushua, it said immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit
It said
who
immediately,
had
bro. Immediately, man.
right. This nigga sleeping in fucking cemeteries and shit, man. You
Yeah.
know niggas ain't right. You got niggas, you got bug crackhead niggas sleeping in fucking bandos, apartment, abandoned houses and shit,
Yeah. Esau
needles
did that
everywhere and
bullshit.
fucking shit. That's demons on fucking people, bro.
Black women do that, bro. Black women be doing that shit, bro. They into
Yeah,
that spirituality, bro.
abandoned houses.
Yeah, they got something which is called it's something they do in a graveyard, bro. And they sit like sacrifice, like they celebrate ancestry, some shit, and they go to the graveyard, man. Which is good. Just tell you that you ain't supposed to be dealing with the dead.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake
Mm-hmm.
was always like, bro, I was watching this interview by this nigga named K Chill, right? K Chill was with Bone Thugs and Harmony before they was known as Bone Thugs and Harmony. They grew up in Cleveland together. And this is how you know they was onto some left hand shit. Cause you remember that album that you remember Taj when we was at the bro crib and we was listening to that album. There was shit was called Faces of Death. And you
Oh
like, man,
yeah,
this
that
shit
shit
kind of
wild.
hard, bro. That shit go hard. But like that nigga K Chill produced that. But see, this is what's crazy and how ironically they met up with Easy E. Because Easy E was a Mason, he was a witch from the get-go. But
Mm-hmm.
found out that K Chill exposed him. He said them niggas used to go in the graveyard and write songs and shit like that. He said they used to go in the graveyard and write songs and try to conjure up shit. And K Chill was like, I was never with that. And he was like, that's probably why them niggas took off and went to Cali and made it big, and I stayed back in the hood. So, I
They
mean,
Yeah,
it
probably
they
makes
signed that
invoked
deal,
that
man.
shit.
yeah,
Signed
yeah,
that deal.
yeah.
You know.
I'm gonna keep going. This is Mark 5, verse 2. It says, and when he came out of the ship immediately, there met him out of the tombs a man with the unclean spirit who
Mm-hmm.
had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, which
Man,
obviously mean he was beating niggas the fuck up. He was doing something to the point where you got to put this nigga in chains.
it was
But it say,
rolling, bro.
but it say Mark
That's
5,
crazy.
verse 4. It said because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. It said neither could any man tame him.
Yeah, yeah, that was a high level demon right there, man.
He had that Broly spirit on him, bro.
That level 99 demon right there, man.
Yeah, God, a lot of these niggas. Hey, man, let's put it like this, man. A nigga, not a nigga, a Jake and IUIC, you not gonna be able to fuck with these high level demons, man. Cause you calling on Christ. You don't even call on Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah,
So when it get time to know who the real men of the Lord is, you gonna know just by off the works because we had a faith in Yahweh Shai. The
mm-hmm.
same ability Yahweh Shai had to exorcise demons off this dude, raise people from the dead, heal the sick. That's how you gonna know who the men of the Lord is, man. You calling on fucking Christ, and hey, you fuck around try to exorcise a demon, that nigga gonna beat you and your fucking fringes off, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He gonna beat the fringes off you niggas, man. You guys are not in this thing sincerely, man.
yeah.
You know what I'm
He gonna
saying?
look
Right,
at you like, oh Christ, yeah, I fuck with Christ too.
You're like, I got him. I'm like, yeah,
right.
niggas on my side.
Demons, bro.
You got more on that?
Yeah, kind. It said Mark 5, verse 4, it says, because that he had often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tomb, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Yahweh far off, he worshipped him and cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Yahweh, thou son of the Most High? I adjure thee by the Most High that thou torment me not.
Mm-hmm.
That
Hey,
was
that goes to
fear.
show
Yeah, you got
that goes
it.
to show, man, the power Yahweh Shai had and the constant examples of that he bestowed to show who he really was. Here it is. You got when you really put it into perspective and you meditate on this. It's like the scene out of some shit Esau would make in a horror movie, man. You
Exorcism.
pull up on a graveyard and you got this motherfucker that's straight a contortionist crawling across the floor, sprinting coming up immediately to Yahweh Shai, man. What have I do to thee? Bowing down. This is the dude that probably
Yeah.
hit somebody's head off.
Right.
They couldn't bound this guy with chains and fetters, man. I mean, you're
No
talking
man
about
can tame him.
them thick ass chains they used to use back then to bound people up.
Right.
This motherfucker was snapping them shits, man. And a creepy ass
Right.
graveyard. His head was probably spinning all around and shit. Eyes
Right.
rolling at the mouth, looking like a zombie.
Yeah.
And this creature
Ah.
is completely submitting himself in fear
Mm-hmm.
and horror to Yahweh Shai. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be
They
out your mind. I did not know who Yahweh Shai was at that point.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
beautiful. You mentioned that, brother, because you notice, like when we at camp, you notice when them unclean spirits come past, bro, they just keep moving. They look and they do their thing and they get the fuck out of there. We
Right.
Mm-hmm.
had that like a couple of weeks ago with that bugged out Edomite chick. She came past the camp, bro. We had that a few times over years. We had demons, angels. We had angels come up to the camp. We had demons come up to the camp, man. And and bro, like I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. Us brothers, bro, y'all brothers got more power than what y'all think. Y'all got the
Mm-hmm.
power, man. It just, we just getting to that point. You may not feel it, but see, oftentimes when you don't think it is there, bro, it's just gonna come when it needs to come. I
Mhm.
keep telling myself that all the time, man. I'm like, look, brothers, what we going through in the flesh, the mind is just temporary, but it just to build you up. But when it's time to reveal it, it's gonna happen, man. Like I got a testimony, man. Like I got two testimonies to just bring out real quick. I've actually performed an exorcism before and got a demon off a brother, man. And when we was in Cali a couple of years ago, the elder brother Dimash was suffering for some, he was in the military. He suffered from postpartum, all types of, bro, PTSD is a motherfucker, bro. That's a spirit plaguing your mind, man.
Mhm.
PTSD, that's a heavy spirit. And what's so
Mm-hmm.
spiritual about it all, bro? D-Mash was cool. He's being D-Mash, but the spirit, like, go sit next to him and ask him what's wrong with him. So the spirit called me over there, and I'm like, what's up, brother? What's going on? You good? He like, yeah, man, I'm good, bro, but I'm just feeling a little weird. I'm like, you all right, man? He like, I'm cool, brother. Don't worry about it. And what's so spiritual about it all? Because you remember when Paul prayed to the Most High 3 times to get the thorn out of his side, and the Lord said that my grace is sufficient for thee, but thou art made weak. Through roughly paraphrasing. So I didn't know that Dmash had already had brothers to pray over him twice, but that spirit was still afflicting him. So I'm like, man, we finna heal you, man. And I said it just like that. And I'm like, he like, man, brother, I'm good. I said, look, man. I'm like, what good are we doing all this if we can't get this shit out you, bro? I said it just like that. I'm like, we gonna heal you. So the spirit literally had me to go around the room, and it was like a highlight on who I needed to pick out. And I picked out like 7 brothers, like elder brothers. Spirit said, get him, grab him, get him, get him, and go outside. That's what the spirit told me. And we had a chair out there, bro. So I'm like, sit in the chair, man. We finna do the prayers. I'm like, brother, do some I told Elder Yashawamba, I'm like, go get some anointing oil. Let's anoint him. And we did it. And then D-Match, like, you want to say the prayers, Mahalaya? I'm like, nah, let's let Elder Yashawamba do it, and we're gonna put hands on you. And I kid you not, after we said the prayers, the anointing prayer, the healing prayer, the brother said he felt a presence when he got up out the chair. He said he felt a presence still stuck in that chair, man. And he never
Mhm.
suffered from that shit again. And this was 3 years ago. And
Yeah.
he's good to this day.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Another brother, Shalah, Yawasab and Taziar know Shalah, man. Good brother out here in KC prophesied, man. Pushing, always been a good brother to me. We got history. I know he was suffering for some things. He came to the crib. First time the Lord told me, he said, you can help this brother out. My first time ever getting a spirit off a brother, man. And when I did the prayers over the brother, man, he said he felt the energy presence leave his body, a dark presence. And I know that I got a spirit off him, even if it wasn't all the spirits that was fucking with his mind. Something happened because that same night, and where I fucked up at by me being a novice in that, I didn't open my windows up like I was supposed to, because you want to dissipate that negative energy. You want to get it out. So when you say your prayers and you clean your house, you make sure you open up the windows. You want the spirit to flee. So that same night, that demon that was fucking with him choked me out, and I knew it was real because he said that same demon punched him and it hit him. And sometimes you can feel like you're being attacked in your sleep. That same spirit that I got off the brother literally tried to choke me out in my sleep that night. So when I
Yeah.
woke up in the morning, I anointed myself. I set up the prayers, man, and I opened up my window in the room because the energy was pretty much predicated to the room I was living in, sleeping in. And I thought I said the prayers, the fucking screen blew out the window, man. The spirit got the fuck out of there.
Mhm.
So this is real, man. We got the power, brothers, man. We got it.
Appreciate
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Matthew 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom is at hand. It says, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils.
Mm,
Freely ye have received, freely give.
that's right.
Con.
Freely you receive, freely give. So we're commanded to do just that. And it's coming a time that it's going to be hands-on. Because a lot of people in the
Mhm.
city suffer from infirmities. Now, yeah, we talk a
Right,
lot of shit and say that, oh, I see everybody in the city being destroyed, but that's clearly not the case. You have a lot of believers that are
right.
going to wake up and they're going to come to the
Hmm.
camp, and it's going to be dependent on us through the spirit to heal these people. Like that elderly Jake woman that came up last year, and she set the last 45 minutes of camp. And I told her, I said, hey, you come back here in that same spirit. I'm like, the Lord that make we can the Lord that heal you, you can walk. Because she didn't scoff for nothing, man.
Right,
She agreed with everything we were saying.
Yeah, con. And if you notice how Yahushua was dealing with the 12, he would always be very harsh on them when they showed a lack of faith. And whenever he would
right,
deal with strangers, he would always praise them and reward them for having their faith. Whether it be a woman, because that faith was like basically the root, because he was basically preparing them to go out and do these works. He's like, y'all, if y'all gonna be out there doing miracles in my name, man, y'all gotta have faith. You know,
hmm
that's why it was an important thing, man. It's kind of like if y'all brothers familiar with the Green Lantern in
Yeah,
DC Comics,
yeah.
his ring is basically willpower. You got the Green Lantern, the Blue Lanterns, all the different colors, but the green is the will. Now in the comics, when he gets with a Blue Lantern, the Blue Lantern, his ring is of hope. When they come together, they're like an unstoppable force, man. you know, because it's like hope, and that hope and that will gives them that synergetic boost, and that's how the spiritual powers are with faith, man. That's why our faith needs
well,
to be
yeah,
shored up, man.
And it's just that's and
kind.
bro, and it's they say it's easier said than done, and it's true. But see, your mind makes it hard. Honestly, when you just stop and you just believe, bro. See, it's a key to believing. You say, "Well, I believe," but it's belief comes with the conviction. You got to go through certain things to be convicted. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, I always go to this scenario. Like if you it's just like, okay, we are knowledgeable in the scriptures, but the person that never read a Bible is telling us how to teach the Bible, never done it. They're not convicted because they've never experienced it. Just like with anything else, belief is a conviction, man. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right.
you actually are convicted and you believe, you're just like, man, fuck it. And a perfect example of that was in The Matrix. This is one of my favorite scenes. After Neo died, he had to give up the old man first because remember, Neo even admitted in Matrix 4, he said, I never really believed I was the one. But at one time, he did believe because when the agent put him to death in the hallway, he told him, he said, I killed you, I watched you die. And when Neo finally believed that death was just a sleep and an overcoming thing, when he was like, no. And then when he stopped the bullets in midair, he started to believe, like, I got control over this shit. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like when you take control of the shit around you in your mind, can't nothing stop you, man. And it's just
Right.
like it's like anybody's ever had the old Nintendo and you got trying to plug the game in. Sometimes the TV comes on and the static is like you keep fitting that tube until you get that clear picture. That's how the beliefs coming in. Because you see it, but it's
Yeah.
still statically. But when you get that perfect screw in, ain't nothing. It's just like learning how to swim. You don't ever forget it.
Yeah.
Right. And that goes back to that Jeremiah 1 we was bringing out on how the Most High ordained us. He gave us that debriefing before we even came down because he already knew our purpose. He already knew what we was gonna do. So
Mm-hmm.
brothers might have had might have had that talk like, yo, you gonna come down here, I'm gonna give you enough faith so you can start healing these people, raising people from the dead, casting out demons, because he not, like I say, he not putting that on certain Israelite spirits, man. And then once again, I'm gonna say this, dudes from IUIC, you're not gonna have the spirit to raise out, to cast out devils, man. But
No.
certain members of the elect are, because once again, there's a hierarchy.
Yep. God. Well, I got a precept real quick, brothers. We at the hour mark. I mean, honestly, bro, we go all night on this, but
Yeah,
we gonna kind of wind
yeah,
it
kind
down.
of.
I think we should go into a part two though. Um, this is
Yeah,
the book
yeah.
of. I think this is the book of because now we can go into the full left hand and break it down. But this is the book of Leviticus 19, and I'm gonna start at verses 31. It says here, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am Yahweh your power, man. Okay, and that's the point. You're not supposed to go after these left hand spirits, and that's where those vagabond Jews fucked up because they thought they was on a level. Kind of going back into what they call the story. I think it's Bar Jesus or Simon the sorcerer. Basically, what happened was he was pretending, or he was basically a sorcerer. He was betwixt people and acting like he was really doing exorcisms and doing the work of the Lord. And Peter came and showed him, like, look, your gift died with you because you think you could buy the gift for the Lord with money. See, Peter's gift was real, but he was so much of on a carnal level, he thought that he can bribe Peter into buying the Holy Spirit from him. And he told him, he said, look, this is of the Lord, man.
Yeah,
You know,
Right,
those
con.
particular spirits out there that don't really believe, like the brother went into IUIC and these different camps. Some guys just don't have it that way.
Yeah,
We
mm,
con.
have it, Lord's will, we're chosen, but it's not because we have it because we them dudes, it's because the Lord put a certain spirit in us, man. You know
right.
what I'm
Lord
saying?
ordained. Yeah,
Yeah,
God.
because
Well, with
it's no gimmicks with us, bro. We just gonna do the work and it's just straightforward.
Yeah,
This
con.
sit down gonna go up raw. We ain't gonna have no fucking intros and none of that bullshit. We just gonna put it up raw, and whoever sees it sees it. You
Yeah,
know?
con. That's right, brother. Because you always had Jakes like con artists. You got palm readers and shit like that.
Yeah.
They do have people that practice the real left hand shit, but you also got Jake just
Scamming.
scraping money, scamming.
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, I talked to your great grandfather. He said he loved you, but he ain't really on the left hand side. He's just a nigga, getting money. But then
right.
you got Jakes that are really prey to those spirits.
Yeah.
There's different levels to it.
You would know the difference too. You would know. You would know.
Yeah, con.
You'll get different accountants, man. A whole witch called my mama house because we was fucking around with some psychics. This is back when I was probably like 18. Then we was just doing some stupid shit. I called a real fucking witch, and I knew she was real because she called back and talked to my mama. You know what I'm saying? And she like, "What the fuck did you do?" Hey, bro, when we was coming up, bro, we was just on some man, bro. We
My
was really on,
lawyer.
bro.
The Lord protected you
Man,
out.
what
The
you
Lord
doing out
protected
there?
you.
Man, bro, we was out there, man.
Hey man, usually it be your fifth grade teacher calling in or your high school teacher calling in. Bro got witches snitching on.
Which
Yeah.
she called
If
my
you,
crib,
you
bro. That same night, the fucking demon was shaking me in the bed. I'm like, man.
yeah.
At that time, I didn't know the Lord, but the Lord was with me because I had to pray and I repented of that shit, man. Because I knew something wasn't right. I'm like, all right. I'm like,
Brother
let
had
me
to
stop,
repent.
bro. I'm like, let me stop it with this shit.
Yeah, if you
I
brothers seen
appreciate
that,
it for you.
oh,
Yeah,
Sloppy.
that's, that's that
This is
Levite, man. I'm sorry, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
this uh this Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11 says, put on the whole armor of the most high, that ye may able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Mhm.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may able to stand in the evil day, having done all to stand.
Con. And they are very diligent on the left hand side. I believe brother brought that out at camp this past week. The precept, the wicked don't sleep until he've
Yeah, unless they done mischief.
yeah, they're very diligent, man. As many videos as we're doing
Mhm,
on the right hand side, that Esau had killed 3 babies for every
mhm.
video. And
God,
we got
God.
to be armored up, man. This ain't no light thing you just walking through. That's why it
Right,
says in second Ezra that this truth is like walking on a beam with water on the left hand and fire on the right.
Mhm.
You
right.
know, it's very easy to get fucked up if you're not taking this thing seriously, man, because we really are against some real wickedness. You know,
Yeah, real witchcraft, man. That's why, hey, it's important to cleanse your houses regularly. You got to do sometimes you got to do a deep clean on your house, burn sage, burn incense.
Yes, sir.
If you a younger brother, don't listen to too much fucking rap music.
Mhm.
hmm
What I'm saying? Fast. These are things that keep your spiritual defense up, man.
Yeah. Because them demons know when your defense is weak, they come in and fuck your ass up, man. That's why certain demons only can really get to brothers when they sleep, man. You know, like, you know, so like when
Mm-hmm.
you fully anointed with the spirit, them demons, they gonna try to attack you, but they, you know, them hits gonna ricochet off you, bro. That's why a lot of times they try to get
Right.
you when you sleep, because when you sleep, your defenses is down. But see, they don't understand that the whole time while you sleeping, you got the angels that's guarding you, your bed. Your angels see when you go through paralysis and all that shit, but they looking like he gonna overcome. You just being tried, bro. You just being tried. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. But yeah, brother, you know, clean your house. I did a cleaning on the apartment today. You know, and sometimes you can tell now, like when you light incense, sometimes you see that black film coming off. That can be sometimes the residue from the incense, but sometimes, bro, that's negative energy. When I lit the incense today, I was like, okay, because I know the maintenance people come in and out of here, you know, and they leave shit behind all the time. So I lit my incense and I saw like this black resins coming from it and they were floating. I'm like, yeah, that's negative energy. I'm like, I had to clean the crib immediately, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you brothers, y'all clean your houses like the sage, the Palo Santo, whatever y'all got to do. Go through every room, every closet. Make sure you
Yeah.
open the doors and windows and get that shit out of there, bro, and
Yep.
purify your house.
Yeah.
And don't be around your fucking women all the time, because your woman got a whole demon on it.
The spirit, I was just gonna
And you
say
know
that.
that shit gonna come out. Get you some alone time. That help too, man. Take a walk in the fucking park, clear your air. You know, we say clear your aura.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because women carry
Yeah.
spirits with them. That's probably a lot of shit. Mom was over here fucking last week. This weekend she was over here and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna clean it because you
Right.
know women carry a lot of bullshit, man.
A lot
They
of
got
demons
Yeah.
on it.
demons. Yeah, the one Satan is dealing with the woman. The woman is a conduit for saving. A woman, I'm gonna tell you, if you brothers got a woman that come over, whether she's your woman, your mother, or a bitch you're fucking. Look, man, every time they leave, anoint your crib, man, because they got deep women do vindictive shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You
You be
know,
careful, man, because that's a very big opening for demons dealing
yeah.
with these women. That's a soft spot, you know, for a lot of jakes. How many stories in the scriptures you can go to with some woman or
Everyone.
women plural, you know?
David went out for a woman.
Mm-hmm. They carry hella demons on them, man. Like in that I don't know if you brothers seen that movie, the House of Gucci,
Oh
but
yeah,
at the end of that movie,
put his
he's
ass
dealing with
down.
this nigga woman. She was
Yeah,
kind of cool at first, but then she talked to that witch, man.
yep,
That witch got in her ear, started talking, you know, and
yep.
he didn't have on the armor of the Most High. So what happens?
Got his
You
ass
know?
blew away in the end. That's hey, bro. I did it at the sit down today, man. I went into the Ouija board shit. And I went into like these women. I'm like, look, if a woman wants you and she's obsessed bad enough, if she can't have you, she'll have you put to death, man.
Yeah.
She'll have you killed. Every man in the scriptures, damn near. I won't say every man, but a lot of great men in the Bible fell behind fucking women. Look at Samson, bro.
Yeah.
Read First Esdras, the 4th chapter. A
Yeah.
lot of men fell behind wicked ass women, man. That's why when he was like, "What's the strength? What's the strongest?" Some men say wine. Some men say this. That's why the scriptures say that wisdom trumps everything. Because, hey, believe it or
Mhm.
not, these bitches are powerful on the left hand side, bro.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
powerful, man.
Yeah. That wisdom through Yahweh Bashim Yahshua keeps us 10 steps ahead of the game, man.
Yeah,
That's why they always, like shit, I wouldn't doubt it if they got specific witches or specific groups of witches that cast spells on us and try to get us trapped up and do these seances and hey man, because we the men of the Lord. We enemy number one, man.
pissed a lot of people off. I know. I got a group of witches or whoever in the elites, Kansas City.
Yeah,
I know they just like, look, we get this nigga, get these
yeah.
niggas.
You
Oh
punk
hell,
ass niggas at YouTube. Yeah,
yeah,
fuck
Yeah.
y'all.
They got official covens, man. Like
yeah,
official,
Kind.
like they on Facebook groups, Wiccans, witches, they all practice it. And this shit was popularized with that movie. Like a bunch of, big head bitches. Even my sister's into this shit now, but back in the 90s, they had a movie called The Craft.
yeah.
If you remember that movie, they would say this saying, light as a feather, stiff as a board. And they would keep repeating that shit over, and they would go out in the woods and do all kind of what they call earth magic and shit. That got hella young girls into that witchcraft shit, man. Like hella women, bro. I remember that shit in high school. They was all into that bullshit, man. You know?
Kind.
And now it's just gotten even worse.
Yep, they did a study. They said women are leaving Christianity witchcraft and forming other and getting into that spirituality shit, man. I got one more precept and we can shut it down unless y'all brothers got something. This is the book of Deuteronomy
Yes.
18, and I'm gonna start at verses 9. It says, "When thou art coming to the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations." Because we know the Hamites was the first devils. But it says, "And there shall not be found among you any that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or use divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch." Now you look up the word witch, it goes into the person that deals with divination, magic, crystals, anything to evoke harm on people. And these bitches, man, they're literally praying over men in groups and sick. That's why Jake is fucked up out here, because they ain't covered, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These bitches, they fuck with these ratchet ass hoes, man, and these bitches will fuck around and put something in they fucking noodles and oodles, and then the nigga eat the shit. That's why, man, hey, don't
Right.
let no bitch fuck your facial hairs, man. you know what I'm saying? Make sure she throw that shit, whatever. Don't hey, look, if my woman making spaghetti, I'm watching her.
Yeah.
Straight up. Because I know how real that shit is, man. You know, she'll put some shit in there, man, before you know it, you be hooked on the bitch. You know,
Right.
but if you got
Wondering
the
why you
spirit of
think
the Lord.
about her all the time.
Yeah, but you got the spirit of the Lord on you, man. You know, ain't nothing, you know, you good regardless of that.
Yeah.
That ain't got
Yeah.
no power. But it says
Say
when
no enchantment against Jacob. So
that's right. It says when a charmer or a consultant with familiar spirits, or a wizard or a necromancer which dealeth with the dead. A necromancer is basically a person that communes with the dead. Psychics, Ouija boards, Saul, the witcher Endor, who he banished, in fact, for witchcraft. Shit, she was a necromancer because she basically conjured up Samuel from the dead, and basically it was a true prophecy because he told him that you and your son was going to be put to death in that new war they was having, okay? And it happened. You see what I'm saying? So she conjured up his spirit from the spirit world, which proves that when you die, your spirit goes to the afterlife, which is the heavens, because she conjured him up from the dead. But he told him, he said, look, you're going to die X, Y, and Z, which was actually true because it played out. He prophesied from the grave. But it says, for all these that do these things are an abomination to Yahweh, and because of these abominations, the Lord like power doth drive them out before thee, man. So that's why we had to clean the land of the fucking Hamites, man. We had to get rid of them because of the bullshit. So a lot of times when we took them out, he said, don't take nothing, destroy everything, burn whatever. Don't take no
burn.
substance or victuals. Get rid of everything, because the Lord know that that shit was tainted.
Yeah.
You know, Jake
Yeah. That's
niggas, man. Jake like, nah, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep that, and then he caused the whole camp to go off.
Right.
yeah.
Because Jake was
That's
lazy,
why
man.
that's
I was gonna say Jake was lazy, man. A lot of them cities they were already built up. They're like, oh, that's a nice little crib right there. This, that. You know, Jake just wanted to just move in. You know, but that shit was built in idolatry. Lord,
right.
get rid of that shit, man. You can't have no remnants. But Jake just thought, oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of nice. I'm gonna hold on
Yeah.
to this. You know, that's the spirit he was in. You
Yeah.
know?
Hey, but to tie it into prophecy, you see why America gotta get fucking burnt, man.
Yeah, burnt.
This when America gets burnt, you're cleansing the earth of wickedness, man.
Yeah,
Bro,
As it's supposed to be done.
yeah,
ain't that crazy? This little punk ass society got this much influence of wickedness on the whole world.
Yeah. Yes. Hollywood, music industry. They said the music industry made like $25.6 billion in revenue, nigga. That's a whole fucking lot.
Bro.
God,
Hey,
U.S. dollar.
Revelation 18 and 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus for violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. It says, and the voice of harpers and musicians, of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in
Source.
her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that was slain upon the earth, man.
Yeah, God. The Lord basically built an altar here because there's more Israelite blood spilled here on this land than anywhere else in the world.
Right.
And it
You had a
mentions
lot of
sorceries.
you had a lot of wars and death over there in Europe, but those were like Edomites killing each other. The Israelites, the majority of us had major atrocities committed to us, man. There's so much blood in this land. It's like That's why when you read Isaiah, it says, have to sacrifice, Shalakia, make fat the kidneys.
Sacrificing Basra.
Yeah, he says make
Yeah,
fat the kidneys.
Isaiah
That fat
34.
of the kidneys is all the wickedness. All of the wicked people. There's wickets everywhere, but all of the concentration is here, man. The example is about to be set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
You know?
Lord homed in on America. He's zooming in on this place. Like, all right,
Yeah, he gathered it all on there on the big altar, and he gonna torch that motherfucker, man.
that's why the most chariot sightings are in America, bro. Look up UFO sightings around the world. They're bro. The chariots are concentrated on this fucking place.
Yeah, kind
Yep, here.
Yo,
Right.
yo, Con. Did y'all
Con,
brothers got something else?
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus 19 and 31. It says, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am Yahweh, your God.
Came out
You know,
twice. Yep.
this is a precept right here to not be involved in none of this witchcraft shit. And you really got to open your eyes up to what the witchcraft really is, because it's right in front of people's face. You know, these
Mm-hmm.
Americans and these people have no idea that they're ignorantly participating in witchcraft. If you're celebrating Christmas, you're celebrating witchcraft. If you're celebrating Valentine's Day, you're celebrating witchcraft. If you're getting ready to celebrate Easter, that's also witchcraft, because you're not going into the real history of these customs and traditions that are out there. Okay, so when you have millions of people that have been convinced to unknowingly commit all this witchcraft, that just gives you an understanding of the high level of demonic vibration this country is sending upon the rest of the globe. You know, which is why the judgment
Mm-hmm.
is going to be so heavy, man. So heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right now it's becoming popular of people practicing Satanism. There hasn't been something that's been straight up popular as far as literally just practicing straight up Satanism. You know, but that's another thing that's on the rise. You know, the Ouija board shit and things like that. Church of Satan, they got Baphomet statues being erected. That's something that's being done within the past 5 or 6 years as far as that becoming popular. But what has been made
Mm-hmm.
popular is the subliminal witchcraft shit that everybody's involved in. The celebrity
Mm-hmm.
shit going on. You know, and it's
Yep.
they sneak shit in there so slick. I was watching that stand-up comedy by Chris Rock, man. The
That's the
whole
spirit.
fucking
I was looking
stand-up.
at this.
God, the whole time this motherfucker's throwing up that 666 symbol with his hand, and this nigga's praising abortion. Like this is wicked, man. And these motherfuckers is praising this dude, man. Like he's blatantly throwing out the witchcraft out there and who he's president. He's straight up said on stage, him and his kids involved in Illuminati shit
He
in
said
that damn
that.
stand-up. Yeah, he said that shit, man. He said it's slick. He said it's slick, the slick joking way. But he
Yeah.
said something, I can't remember what it was,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
meant
You can
Illuminati
slip it
shit.
in. Joking.
And
That,
he was, I was like, damn, man, I was like, this nigga Chris Rock is wicked, man. That is a wicked, wicked, wicked ass nigga, man. He straight up basically admitted in a subliminal way in his stand up show that he is with and he sacrifices kids and don't give a fuck about it.
hey,
Like,
they say that jokes come from truth. So ain't no coincidence why that nigga played Pookie so damn good.
God,
That nigga, man.
that nigga's wicked as fuck, man.
When
Him
you
and
wearing
Will
like all
Smith.
white too?
Fuck them niggas, man. That's why the Lord gonna kill you. You a celebrity, Most High gonna take your ass out.
Yeah.
God,
I'm gonna watch that too, man. That's funny because I was just looking at the Netflix shit today. I'm like, Spirit, like, yeah, check that shit out. And I ain't too big on comedy like these days. So the shit just ain't been too funny lately. But I'm gonna definitely check that out though, man. Because this is the second time I heard about just that comedy. I heard he was making mention of that slap and all that other dumb shit. So let's
Yeah,
see
I heard
what.
that little clip.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they ride off that slap shit. That's just, that shit's just staged out folly. But really, he was really promoting that fucking abortion shit. That shit was weird as fuck and random as fuck. He was promoting abortion heavily in his
What?
stand up.
Yeah.
That's witchcraft.
Or
Yeah.
sweet.
I think he was wearing like all white too with the little Prince symbol on it.
He was. And I think that
That
symbol has something to do with child sacrifice too. So
yeah.
these
Could
niggas is off, man. And they all these people in America, they breaking this scripture right here. They are regarding them that have familiar spirits. They're seeking after witches and wizards. you know, and have pleasure in doing it. So when the judgment comes, it's going to be very satisfying for the hopeful elect. You know,
As the scriptures say, man, stand now with thine enchantments, man.
God.
You
Hey,
know?
it makes
God,
sense to look up, and we'll close out to this. It says pharmakia, the use of administering of drug, pharmacy. Like you go to Walgreens, remember they had that pot with the magic wand. Poisoning, sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry and feet and fostered by it. Like the C19, that jab, that's fucking sorcery, man. That's
Yeah.
witchcraft.
Very high
God,
level too. When you talk about your DNA getting changed, that's high level. Most drugs are just a receptor in your brain that triggers it and you feel an effect. Or it plugs the pain cells. But this shit will literally alter you, man. This ain't no regular sorcery. Millions of you idiots took it, man.
Yeah. God. Well,
Yeah.
shit, brothers,
Fentanyl
man.
shit.
Y'all
Yeah.
close us out. Y'all got something else.
God.
I don't got nothing else after that.
Well,
All right,
shit,
close it out.
close us out, bro. You close us
Okay.
out.
God, go ahead, Todd. You
I
got
mean,
it.
hey, with that being said, man. Yeah, with that being said, as we said, keep y'all spiritual defenses up, because it's bigger than just a fucking Edomite at your job. There's actual real demons and real powers that are set up to stop the men of the Lord. But as we brought out, there's no enchantment against Jacob, and Yahweh Shai gave us ability over these things. So we got to believe in that name to overcome. But with that, all praises, honor, and glory, it goes to Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and how about Shem Yahweh Shai, Brakathum to the hopeful elect, Shalom, Shalom.
Wow.